Hello there. In this video we will cover some of the most significant foods in regional cuisine of Turkey. The first one is tarhana. Tarhana is a dried food ingredient based on a fermented mixture of grain and yogurt or fermented milk, found in the cuisines of Southeast Europe and the Middle East. Dried tarhana has a texture, of course, uneven crumbs, and it is usually made into a thick soup with water, stock, or milk. As it is both acidic and low in moisture, the milk proteins keep for long periods. Tarhana is very similar to some kinds of kishk. In Turkey, tarhana consists of cracked wheat, yogurt, and vegetables, fermented and then dried. In most parts of Turkey, people prepare tarhana as some sort of powder. However, in Kahramanmaraş province, the recipe is something different. The tarhana is actually almost like in chips in Maraş. A lot of people eat Maraş tarhana as some sort of snack because of its chips-like structure. However, you can actually prepare a very famous dish with this ingredient. Now, I can't really explain you how to make Maraş tarhana since it is a difficult process. But if you have Maraş tarhana, you can prepare the soup of it really easy. Now I will explain how to cook Maraş tarhana soup. Here are the required ingredients for Maraş tarhana soup. 1 salad bowl of Maraş tarhana, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 tablespoon butter, 2 teaspoons of dried mint, 1 teaspoon of pepper, 5 cloves of garlic, 1 teaspoon salt, and 2 liters of hot water. Let's come to the recipe. Wash the tarhana and put it in the pot. Add enough hot water over it and let it get wet for 1 or 2 hours. Cover it and let it soften well. Then boil it for 15 minutes. Mix it with blender, then add some more water. Cook it for another 15 minutes. In the meantime, you can prepare the sauce. Add the oils to the pan, add the crushed garlic, add chili pepper and mint, then turn the stove off. Let's pour the sauce into our soup, add the salt, and bon appetit. If you live outside of Kahramanmaraş, it is not easy to prepare this dish. Well, because of you can't really find the chips like tarhana in everywhere, but you can still do the powder like tarhana by yourself. It is not a hard process, so this dish is actually very available.
Hello again, today I'm going to be talking about white bean stew, or as we call in Turkey, kuru fasulye. It is a very famous and traditional dish in Turkey. Before talking about the stew, I want to talk about the beans. Beans is one of the most nutritious vegetables of all. It is rich in carbohydrates, proteins, as well as vitamin B. To talk about the history of beans, it is eaten for a very long time in history of humanity. So it is a pretty common one. To be able to cook white bean stew, these are the ingredients. 400 grams of beans, 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, 1 onion, 4 cloves of garlic, 1 to 2 chilies, olive oil, 1 teaspoon of paprika, and 1 tablespoon of salt. These are all optional. You can raise or lower the level in any of them as you're liking. Add the beans to a bowl, put them in a bowl, and soak them overnight. This has to be done overnight, or else you're not going to be able to cook the white bean stew. Later, you're going to add some olive oil to the pot. 2 tablespoons of olive oil should be enough. Add the onions, add the garlic, and add the chilies. And fry them until it looks like this. Now it is time to add the paprika and salt. And the tomato paste as well. Mix them and fry them. Now it's time to add the beans that were soaked overnight, as you remember. After you added the beans, you're going to mix them and add the water, 1.5 liters of water. it should be 1 or 2 inches above the beans. After adding the water, you are going to cook the beans on medium heat for 45 minutes. And you should see something like this, which means it should be ready to eat, but it is never eaten alone, nowhere in the world. You're going to need, not you're going to need, but the most famous side dish to white bean stew should be rice. So I recommend you to eat it side to side or on top, whatever, together with rice. So bon appetit, everybody. Thank you for listening.
Baklava. Baklava is a rich, sweet dessert pastry made of layers of phyllo filled with chopped nuts and sweetened and held together with syrup or frosting or honey. It originated in the Ottoman Empire. In 2013, Antep baklavası or Gaziantep baklavası was registered as a protected geographical indication by the European Commission. The word baklava is first attested in English in 1650, a borrowing from Ottoman Turkish. The name baklava is used in many languages with minor phonetic and spelling variations. Historian Paul Dubois argues that the word baklava may come from the Mongolian root baila, which means to tie, wrap up, pile up, composed with the Turkic verbal ending ve. But baila itself in Mongolian is a Turkic loanword. Linguist Sevan Nishanyan considers its oldest noun forms to be baklağı and baklavu, and so labels it as being of Proto-Turkic origin. Although the history of baklava is not well documented, its current form was developed in the imperial kitchens of the Topkapı Palace in Istanbul. The Sultan presented trays of baklava to the Janissaries every 15th of the month of Ramadan in a ceremonial procession called the Baklava Alayı. There are some similarities between baklava and the ancient Greek desserts gastris, kopte sesamis, and kopton, found in Book 14th of the Dionysius Day. However, the recipe varies for a filling of nuts and honey with a top and bottom layer of honey and ground sesame, similar to modern pasteli or halva, and not dough, certainly not a flaky dough. What is baklava made with? Baklava is made with very simple ingredients: phyllo sheets, melted butter, walnuts or pistachio, sugar, water, lemon. Turkish baklava recipe. First, make the syrup with water, sugar and a slice of lemon. Let it cool until you prepare and bake your baklava. Second, trim the phyllo sheets to fit your baking pan. Third, place the phyllo sheets in the pan, brushing each with melted butter. Sprinkle walnuts after every 5 phyllo sheets. You don't need to butter the phyllo on which you spread walnuts. In total, we have 25 phyllo sheets with 4 layers of walnuts. Fourth, brush the top with melted butter, cut it and bake until golden. Finally, pour cool syrup over hot baklava and let it sit until it absorbs the syrup, at least for 5 hours. Traditionally, baklava is cut in diamond shapes. Turkish baklava syrup. The ingredients for syrup are water, sugar and a slice of lemon. Combine this in a pot. The ratio here is 2.5 cups sugar to 2 cups water. You can just put the lemon slice into the sugar and water combination and heat until it boils. Let it simmer over medium-low heat for 15 minutes and cool completely. Lemon gives the consistency needed for the syrup. The best syrup is neither too thick or nor too thin. There is no additional flavorings in Turkish baklava syrup, but there are recipes with rosewater or orange blossom water. So if you want to enrich the syrup, go ahead and use them. Bon appetit!
Tekirdağ meatballs are a type of meatballs unique to Tekirdağ province in Turkey. It is a part of the region historically known as East Thrace, located on the Balkan Peninsula. Actually, Tekirdağ meatballs are not shaped as a ball, but more like short sticks. The wire ribs used in the making of Tekirdağ meatballs gives the meat a unique taste. For the mince, you will need 300 gram minced beef, 1/2 of a large onion, grated on fine setting, 1 handful chopped flat-leaf parsley, 1 dessertspoonful fine semolina, 2 tablespoons of baking soda, 1 tablespoon of thick natural yogurt, 1 tablespoon of cumin, 1 tablespoon of chili flakes, 1 tablespoon of dried oregano, pinch of salt, and black pepper. Get your hands in there and knead for around 10 minutes. Once it's all mixed well, take small golf ball sized pieces and mold into stick-like shapes. If you make a lot of homemade meatballs, you might have noticed we haven't included breadcrumbs or beaten egg in this recipe. That's because we are looking for a lighter texture, so the baking soda and the semolina work perfectly in lightening the meat. Way to cook these meatballs is important, but not difficult at all. First of all, the pan should be a cast iron pan, and it should be well heated before cooking the meatballs. You shouldn't put oil on it because the meat already has necessary oil in it. Although if you are not using a cast iron pan, you should use a little bit of oil just to prevent it from sticking. Once you put the meatballs in, you shouldn't move them until the one side is cooked enough. So you will turn them only once. When meatballs are served, there is always a red pepper paste served with it. The pepper paste used in Tekirdağ meatballs made specially, unlike the pepper paste used in general, and is used only for meatballs. Optionally, you can serve them with rice. Even though you can make this recipe at home, it is better to try it from a master first.
Tray kebab from Hatay. Tray kebab is a famous meal of Hatay kitchen. It's delicious and easy cooking daily meal. It's accepted as the World Cuisine Meal by UNESCO in 2016. Also, Hatay is the actual gastronomy city of the world. Let's learn this famous meal together. Ingredients: meat, half of a kilo for a family, a bunch of parsley, 1 or 2 pieces of garlic, salt and black pepper. How to prepare and cook it. Firstly, you chop up all the ingredients together. Then you knead them all. Then you keep on kneading until all the ingredients mix to meat. Then you dop approximately 10 grams of tomato paste to bottom of a tray. You spread the meat over the tomato paste on the tray. Finally, you add tomato paste sauce to tray. For ornament, you put sliced pepper, sliced tomato, sliced onion, and sliced potato. You cook it in 200 degrees and approximately 1 hour. Enjoy your meal.